Should have made one for myself.
Good evening. I'd like to call to order at 6 p.m. the regular meeting of the Eureka Springs Hospital Commission for the June 17th, on June 17th, 2024. You all should have received copies of the minutes. I would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Are there any changes, additions, or corrections that you see to the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same side. Minutes are approved. I sent you the agenda. I'm sending them to all kinds of emails to make sure that you get them, sir. You should have gotten copies of the agenda. I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Roll call.
Oh, thank you so much. I forgot something. We're going to have roll call. Ryan.
Ryan Byler, Commissioner.
Dave Carlisle, Commissioner.
Sharon Doremus, Commissioner.
Barbara Dix, Vice Chair.
Kate, you're on the phone. Kent Turner, Chair.
Sandy Martin, Commissioner.
Angie Shaw, CEO.
Cynthia Asbury, CFO.
Sorry about that. Now I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Are there any changes or additions that anyone would like to see to the agenda? Hearing no comments, all those in favor of approving the agenda say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Agenda is approved. We don't have any members of the public here tonight, so there will be no public comments. Do we have any committee reports?
Sam distributed her.
Yeah, Sam distributed the marketing report. Finance, we're still struggling, and I'm sure we'll talk about that during the course of the meeting with getting everything up to speed. But we'll get to that when we get to the CFO report. Hospital design update. We didn't get a real chance to talk in our meeting on Saturday because we didn't have recorders. So we're gonna postpone that. We did. I talked to Tom briefly, and he got an idea of what we're looking at. But I think on Saturday the 6th, it would be good if we could all get together and talk about that and all get on the same page with that, because there are going to be some, in my opinion, there are going to be some significant changes to the design that we had, and we'll talk about how we're going to make those and what we should make and how we'll do it. I'll see if Tom's around again. If he's not, we can talk to him and then just relate it to him. So that's the update for the design. Until that is done, I'm hesitant to call my contact in Washington about grants, because one of the things I know I'm going to have is we're going to have that in some kind of shape in order to apply for the grants. Ms. Shaw, CEO report.
Yep, I did put a copy at each one of your chairs. Under clinical, of course, our new CNO started the end of May. Jessica, she has stepped into her role. She's working with all departments and fellow staff just to gain a good understanding of the facility and our operations. She's doing a wonderful job and is fitting in very well. Current facility stats, I have learned how to do some reports in Cerner, so I was pretty excited about that. ER visits have been on the rise. April, we had 259. May, we had 296. Currently, for June, as of noon today, we've seen 163 patients so far. For January through May, we've seen a little over 1,200 patients, which, when I look at the historical tracking, that's kind of where we are the first 5 months of the year, is around 1,200. In May, lab completed 677 orders, and radiology completed 265 exams. I'll continue to watch those numbers and see how they trend through Oracle and compare them to those baseline numbers I have there. We have kind of focused on preparing the facility for the Pyxis implementation, which we thought was supposed to happen in the end of July. It has actually been pushed back to probably early September as they're building our hard drive and our equipment. We are also relocated the nursing and physician offices from the ER to a more centralized. The nurses are all at the central nurses station, and that kind of frees up some extra ER room for supply storage and equipment storage right there next to the patients. Our contract pharmacist, Valerie, has signed on through the end of July, currently reviewing our options as we continue to advertise for the position. If we need to renew that contract at that point, we will. And currently, we do have another vacancy. Our physical therapist, last day was Friday, so we are currently looking for a new physical therapist. Business office, we continue to see some areas of concern regarding our Oracle EMR upgrade. We are attempting to work with them to get these areas running smoothly, but it has been a challenge. As the transition team has ended their sessions, we are now going through help desk to try to get items corrected, or reaching out to our regional team member. You know, this post-go live, it had given us some relief just transitioning from MedHost to Cerner, but it has also given us some other frustrations. Oracle, I feel, is still a great product and a smart system. You know, we have no regrets in transitioning to them from our legacy system, but we are learning that we are jumping through a lot of hoops, and honestly, those hoops are the same hoops over and over again.
What areas are they?
It's a lot to do with the financial side, just trying to get items, just trying to get the system to work correctly for us.
We
And-
haven't been able to produce financial statements in the way that we want to so far. We're falling behind on how we process some of our claims. I will tell you, after talking with Angie and Cynthia, it appears to me that, timing's everything in the world. If Cerner would have still been Cerner by itself, I don't think we would have had these issues. Right in the midst of our transition, Cerner was bought by Oracle. Anybody that knows anything about mergers and acquisitions knows that for at least a year in any type of acquisition, you end up, a lot of balls end up getting dropped because they're not used to working. They're trying to work with you. They're not used to working with a new company. They're not used to working under new management. That's not an excuse, though, to be honest with you. We are going to have a call. We, being Angie and Cynthia and myself, are going to have a call with them tomorrow morning. And it's I come to the realization that you're not dealing with Eureka Springs. We're going to kick your behind if you don't get to work and get us some progress on these issues. We've got to have good financials. We've got to be able to do that without having to do a bunch of manual work. That's not why we bought this system. So consequently, I think we've just got caught in that hook, and it's having been through it a couple of times myself. It's difficult and it's certainly frustrating, but it's not impossible. But we've got to start raising the alarm bells and raising our concerns about it in a very forceful manner, and I intend to do that tomorrow morning.
Good.
I'm sorry, Angie, go ahead.
Oh, you're good. As for other areas with the business office, everything else is running as smooth as it possibly can, despite these issues that we're running into. And I did attach the marketing report. I know Sam did send it out to everybody, just so you're aware, and you can notice it the next time you're driving from Berryville on 62, just past the Little Bear RV U-Haul place. We do have a new billboard up in there, Spring Hospital. So kind
Very
of
good.
get that advertisement out there that we're still here.
Any questions for Angie?
Do we feel comfortable with what we're going to be dealing with in the morning? I mean, these guys feel like, our front line, it's Oracle we're dealing with right now, say who it is. So our frontline Oracle people, are they tuned into what you're asking or talking to them at all, or?
That's questionable.
Okay.
We've had some phone calls with them too, expecting results, and they seem to, at the time the call is going on, that they understand, but then there's no follow through on what we need and the concerns we're bringing up, and that's the problem. There's just no follow through on their part.
That's what we intend to make clear tomorrow morning. And they're Oracle by name only. Most of these people were former Cerner people, so therein lies the problem. They all of a sudden, overnight, they got new bosses. Okay, that's what ends up happening in an acquisition. Everybody tells you that nothing's going to change, but if you believe that, you're being extremely naive because everything changes. Cynthia.
So, as you've kind of heard, we've had some struggles with this transition, but the second page, front page is the cover page. Second page has our bank account balances. It's down about $100,000 for May from where it was in April. And part of that is just the process of getting claims out the door with the new system and kind of seeing that money flow back in. I do feel what claims are hitting into our clearinghouse and getting to the payers. We are receiving payments, but we had about 5, almost 6 weeks delay. We've not been able to post technically any of the payments to the patient account. So we have a delay in statements going out to patients for patient responsibility and stuff, just from getting the scripts built to pull them from the clearinghouse into Oracle and stuff. So, but I mean, the money is hitting the accounts. We're able to capture it. We do have that, but now I got to go back and kind of audit and review, make sure all that's there so we can post them. That's on the bank account balances. Next page is our revenue and usage. It's down about 10% from the month of April, and then it's down about 37% from last year, just looking at each department in there. You will notice I did renumber some of the GLs. Probably wouldn't notice that, but in our new system, they all start with 7s. The few that were left with 4s, we didn't transition those into the system, so. We did have a lighter OR day. It did fall into the time when we had the weather and the tornadoes, and people did lose power, so they, of course, in turn canceled their surgeries. So we had a very small, I think we had 7 or 8 cases canceled for the month of May, so that is the lost revenue there on the OR side as well. So,
With the change in our hospital operations, though, we're going to expect some reduced revenue because we don't offer some of the services we used to offer.
correct, yes. And I tried to pull all these in, just pulling in the same line items and comparative too as well, so. The next page, you will see the first page, the next one is our income statement for March of 31. It is a revised one, just kind of truly capturing in and summing up some of the last things out of, with MedHost, we had about a $60,000 loss once some things got correctly accounted for in Multiview, which is our new financial system that we were in. So I do feel with good faith that is an accurate representation on that March financial statement of where we were. I think the other one showed a little bit, it had a greater loss on it, but this one truly has everything routed correctly on it. So, and then the next one is going to be our April one. And I do feel within the numbers, everything does appear to be correct and flowing in correctly. The only difference is we did not have any bad debt recorded for the month of April. So it does appear like we did have a significant, a good net income, but there was no bad debt. So we didn't write off any accounts for the month.
So will that show up later then? When will that come back into play?
We really can't, because the difference was there's no accounts because it was in that transition time frame were sent to our collection agency, and it's the flipping of that will cue them into our bad debt that we can capture them for our cost report. But since we had 2 weeks in the legacy system and 2 weeks in the new system, it was just kind of a thing where we didn't really capture. I mean, we average about $300,000 to $350,000 a month to bad debt. So if you we would have been close to probably comparative numbers to where we were in March, probably either close to break even or a little bit of a loss. So it'll be the same in May because we didn't really send, but in June we have sent actually over $500,000 of accounts to our collection agency and written off as bad debt, just trying to clean up the accounts out of our legacy system. So I mean, we're still capturing our CMS monthly payments as well in these. So we don't have May statements. I mean, we have our daily recon files coming over from Oracle. We went about 10 days that we didn't have those kind of flowing, and that was on the Oracle side. There was something with their format on their file that got changed. And in the interfaces, I mean, it could be just a simple space or a period or a number where a letter should be, and it threw them off. And I mean, David and IT went back and forth with Oracle, and we finally got those fixed. There's still just a few, so until we get those files into May, we won't have the true representation of the patient income hitting the books. So, but think we've isolated, it's just something in the running of the report, so. I think they got sound on upstairs or something in So, but I mean, within that, we've had some issues within their claims, but just our patient accounting rep, I mean, I don't feel has been very knowledgeable, honestly, and it's just created some issues downhill from that, so. I mean, I can spend 2.5 hours with her on the phone. She says she's corrected this issue within our claims. The next day I see the claims and it's actually got a worse error and issue than if it was just the one from before, so. And we have spent weeks, months at this point in time. I mean, hours every day, emails back and forth with them, just trying to get these, some of what I would call basic CMS rule guidelines on claims fixed, and we're not making much forward progress. Have moved up the chain of command, and we're trying every avenue we can.
We're going to climb up the chain of command tomorrow.
It's kind of like you're writing the software as you go.
Yeah, and some of these were claim rules, some of these things in patient accounting, it's standards. It's nothing that we're doing different from any other hospital, any other facility. So it's like, I shouldn't have to tell you to put the basics in, you know, kind of thing. So I think,
Yeah,
again,
it's
it's
not
just,
Eureka Springs specific, it's
Yeah.
basically a blanket.
I mean, some of these are CMS, Medicare made standards and rules 2010, 2012, you know, and I'm like, here's this rule. I didn't make it up. Fix my claim. And it's like I'm educating them as we go, and it's kind of, and I can't write the claim rules, unfortunately, or I would have already done it. So it's kind of, I would have figured it out if I could have. I mean, we've had.
There's something wrong though, because you're absolutely, this is not, we're not reinventing the wheel here
Right.
at all. None of this is new, okay? Every other company in the world should have this. Or every
Correct.
other hospital in the world should have this, including all the ones that Cerner or now Oracle are already involved with. So somehow we've gotten disjointed, and it's probably because they're just not. We've got to get their attention, and they've lost attention because they're probably having 10 meetings a day that has to do with the Oracle transition, and we end up being last, okay? And we need to fix that, and we will fix that.
So you're relegated just to the help desk, there's no live person?
For patient accounting, we still have one point of contact left for the next few weeks. All my other ones for many of the areas have already transitioned. They only gave us 60 days post go live for transition. Didn't care how many issues were still outstanding. Didn't care that everything was resolved. It was, this is our last live meeting. We're done. Wash our hands. Goodbye. And it was like, well, what about my problems? Don't tell me to contact help desk, because now I'm back at start one here, and we went 54 steps through this, you know, and trying to reorientate and trying to bring someone else up to speed. But we have a post-go-live rep, or I don't know what his title technically, I mean, our operations person, and he's not been of any help. We had a meeting Friday before last with him, addressed all of our concerns very clear. He took notes, said he was going to get us action, follow up the first of last week with us with resolution, game plan. We'll get through this. And we've heard nothing. And we have been blowing up his email, trying to get asked to be, who's your supervisor, who's your boss, who's over you, and we're still just.
He told Angie in an email that, because I had asked, I said, I want to know who the person responsible to Oracle Parent is for this project. There is somebody there that is responsible for this project, not on a day-to-day basis, but responsible for it. And they said there was no one. And I said, I told her to send an email back to him saying, the chairman of the hospital commission does not believe you. Because this is
Somebody's gotta be
there will be a hierarchy that they may not fully understand, and they may not fully know, which may be part of our problem because of the acquisition. Oracle is a huge company. Cerner was not a huge company.
I mean, I think within the system, as Andrew said, though, it is a great system if we can just get through a lot of these last snafus and things. I mean, I see areas that it's already improving upon. There's still just so much manual or pulling all these things, just trying to get through into these reports and stuff that, I mean, you know, it's, and I honestly think we've been, patient accounting, which is one of the most important sides of it, has been passed around. We've had 6, 7 different reps from the beginning of training and transition. So we didn't have one person's hand in it writing all of our claim rolls, writing all of our stuff. And that was no reason, but I mean, Oracle's, I mean, 2 of them just quit without really notice. One transitioned and moved up the ladder. One, I don't know where he went.
There's just no continuity on their part, because even when we had the person, the one that we had, when they left, the next person wanted to start at the beginning. And we're like, no, you need to know what level.
You should have been brought up to speed and jumped into this beat first and not us having to bring you up to speed. It's like, I'm not going back through answering all these basic questions, and it's been.
There again, this is classic mergers.
Yeah, it is.
It's just classic.
We sure don't want to get ourselves in trouble with CMS as far as any kind of chargeback problems or anything
No,
that
and
affect
that's-
us on that financial side of it because of their failure to cross
And
their
that's,
T's
yeah,
and
I mean,
dot
that's the
their I's.
thing. It's hitting in the claim rules, and then it's just requiring a lot of manual edits and stuff to get them back out the door. So it's just, I mean, I can spend a half a day just fixing the claims, just trying to get, I mean, our volume of claims, we're talking 15, 20 out the door some days. I mean, some days we have 1 or 2 go out clean and that's it. I mean, which it shouldn't be. I mean, it should be 1 or 2 maybe having to be fixed, but it's just the basic things sometimes. We have some just charge code builds within the system that isn't correct, and we've not really got a direct answer on how to fix some of them within our pharmaceutical side. And I mean, it again creates claim issues. It's like, if we could fix this claim nobody would have to touch, and it would go straight to the insurance, and a payment would hit our bank. You know, I mean, it would be just an easy, complete circle. But Angie's reached out. I mean, and the answer was, well, here's where it is. Well, that's not the case, because it didn't. That was not the area to fix it. But. And sometimes it's, again, the support people don't really know the day-to-day operation use of the system or where to find it. They just kind of go, I think, to the wiki pages and search it and say, here you go, and just hope it fixes it.
Yeah. Other questions for Angie? Or Cynthia, excuse me. Okay, thank you, Cynthia. We have some credentialing that we need to do tonight. But before we get to that, we also need, it may be just because of bad communication, we also need several of you all to go in and look at the med staff minutes and sign off on them. We can't leave them for the meetings anymore because they have HIPAA information in them that we can't do it at the meeting. So I need, Brian, I think you've done it already. I've done it. Barbara's done it. So the rest of you need to get by there and sign on. It's not incredibly urgent, but we need to get them signed off on, okay? But coming down to those minutes, we have several doctors that we need to credential. Did you have something to say, Angie?
Oh, I was just going to say I could bring them to the workshop, potentially.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Sorry, I was
She
just
can bring them. She'll bring them to the workshop
Okay.
on July 6th. Okay.
Great.
All right. But in the meantime, we need to go ahead and credential these physicians so that they're allowed to work in our hospital. I'm going to read the list of names just to get them in the record, and then I'll give as you heard me tell Kate, I'll send this to her so they can get it in there. But it's Michael Barnum, Jeffrey Bell, James Breckscheisen, Travis Bowen, Jeffredon Kuhn, Matthew Denefi, okay, Ashraf Diab, Michael X. Kenham, Raymond Hartman, Brian Lynn, Thassa Nathan, Gary Parkhurst, Clayton Preston, Karen Taylor, Jennifer Terry, Brandon Thurow, and Carolyn Vogler.
Good job on the list. Not a John Smith among them.
I would entertain a motion to credential these people for our hospital.
So moved.
I'll take a second.
A second.
Does anybody have any questions on any of these physicians? They're all physicians, I said.
Good.
Hearing none, all those in favor of credentialing the list of physicians that I read off, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. They are credentialed. We've talked about the Oracle Server Financial Operating System update, so we'll just, hopefully we'll have some good news shortly, but we're all gonna take, the more the merrier on beating up on people always works, so. Last thing is we have commission comments. Any commission comments?
I'm good.
No comment.
No comment.
The only thing I would add, and I'm going to bring it up, and I appreciate what you're going through, because I've gone through mergers and acquisitions, and it's a nightmare. But I do want to bring up the B word, budget. That sometime we really do, particularly if we're looking at, expansion, and we should have somewhat of a baseline now. So if we could maybe include that in the workshop or start working on it, and I'll be glad to help. I don't know how much I can help, but I'll be glad to help as much as I can.
Maybe that's a
I
good
think
thing.
it's going to be critical moving forward and being able to get some projections that we know we're going to do if we had a study baseline.
No, and I would say that's definitely something, and within our new financial system in Multiview, it does allow us to hone in on department-specific expenses to be able to kind of give kind of a roundabout figure. And I think just kind of in this last month, so it's just we've made these other changes in positions and shifting, making our hospital truly mold into the REH will give us that chance to be able to see the departments that are critical, the positions, and getting all of our baseline numbers there to start really hitting it. So
Right, seems like now's the time to do it and to move forward with it, so.
Maybe we can move that to the August workshop. Have that be a budget workshop.
Plenty of time, and maybe we can get Oracle straightened out by then.
yeah, that's been my thing. I'm
Hopefully.
like, getting the money, keeping the money moving right now has been my thing.
Hopefully,
The only comments I have are, I know that everybody is working hard, and I know it's frustrating, but I realize it because I've been through this before. I'm not going through it now, but I realize how hard it is on you. Just hang in there with us, and we will get through it. You've done a tremendous job so far, so we just need to, hopefully I can give you some help tomorrow. I'm a pretty hard-nosed guy when it comes to it, so, and I won't be satisfied just talking to the people that you've been talking to the last several weeks.
I would say we've been very aggressive and assertive, and it has not, I mean, killed them with kindness at first, and then that didn't work, and I've tried every which way, and it does not seem to get through, so,
We'll see what we can do.
yes.
Next workshop is on July 6th at 12 noon at 25 North Street. We're going to talk about hospital design, or how much or how little we need. The next regular meeting is on July 15th at 6 p.m. at this location. Does anyone have anything else? If not, do I have a motion to adjourn?
so moved.
Do I have a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned at 6:28.